What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 14. Sleeper picks.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon
so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to give you some of my top DFS sleeper picks, super low priced and low ownership players that could crush value this week and give your lineup an advantage over the field. These are risky plays, meant for large tournaments only. Don't go all in on any of these guys. They are high risk, high reward picks. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, NFL Week 14, let's take a look at the quarterback position. Now this quarterback isn't really a sleeper pick, but in terms of ownership, he has low ownership. I think he's going under-owned here in Week 14. So I like Tom Brady from the Tampa Bay Bucks playing the Minnesota Vikings, who have the 10th worst defense overall and they're middle of the pack defending opposing quarterbacks. Tom Brady has averaged 21.9 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 27, 15, and 35 fantasy points in the last 3 games, and he's only going to be about 3% owned, projected at 20.2 fantasy points here in Week 14. He's $6,900 DraftKings salary and $900 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 52.5 points scored in this game, with the Tampa Bay Bucks favored by 7. So you got a good matchup, a high scoring game, and this ownership is just way too low. So I like Tom Brady here versus the Minnesota Vikings. So I think this is a week that you want to pay up for quarterback. I didn't find a lot of low salary quarterbacks that I liked this week. You could consider Andy Dalton versus the Cincinnati Bengals at $5,500 DraftKings salary. You could consider Mike Glennon versus the Tennessee Titans at $5,100 DraftKings salary. But outside of those guys, there's not much at the quarterback position when you come down in salary. So I'm going to be looking for guys like Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert, Ryan Tannehill. But the lowest owned guy out of all those by a huge margin is Tom Brady. And that's why he's my quarterback sleeper pick, even though it's Tom Brady. Okay, let's take a look at the running back position. My running back sleeper pick is Clyde Edwards-Hilaire from the Kansas City Chiefs playing the Miami Dolphins, who have a good defense overall and they're middle of the pack defending opposing running backs. Clyde Edwards-Hilaire has averaged 14.4 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 13.7 rush attempts per game and 4.2 pass targets per game. Now, he didn't play last week. He was active, but they decided to give him the week off, so he should be fresh and ready to go this week, and he's only going to be about 2% owned, projected at 11.9 fantasy points here in Week 14, and he's $5,900 DraftKings salary and $500 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 50.5 points scored in this game, with the Kansas City Chiefs favored by 7. Now, Myles Gaskin is out for the Miami Dolphins with COVID, so this could be a big-time running game script if the Miami Dolphins struggle to score points. So I like Clyde Edwards-Hilaire here versus the Miami Dolphins.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all the tools for NFL, MLB is still going, NBA is right around the corner. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, let's take a look at the wide receiver position. This is probably one of my favorite plays on the slate. My sleeper pick at the wide receiver position is Tyler Boyd from the Cincinnati Bengals playing the Dallas Cowboys, who have the second worst defense overall, and they give up the second most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. Tyler Boyd has averaged 15.6 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 8.1 pass targets per game. He's only going to be about 3% owned, projected at 12.5 fantasy points here in week 14, and he's 4,900 DraftKings salary and 1,800 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 43 points scored in this game, with the Bengals trailing by 3. So you got a fantastic matchup and a passing game script. So I like Tyler Boyd here versus the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, moving on to the tight end position. My week 14 tight end stud is Jacob Hollister from the Seattle Seahawks playing the New York Jets, who have the second worst defense overall, and they give up the absolute most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. Jacob Hollister, he's only averaged 3.5 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 2.3 pass targets per game. But take a look at his last 3 games. So, okay, he's only scored 5, 3, and 3 fantasy points in the last 3 games, but he's got 4, 5, and 3 pass targets. He's going to be about 2% owned, projected at 7.2 fantasy points here in week 14. He's 3,100 DraftKings salary and 1,800 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 47.5 points scored in this game, and they have the Seattle Seahawks favored by 15.5. So this is a fantastic matchup, and you would think it'd be a running game script being favored by more than 2 touchdowns, but the New York Jets are pretty good at stopping the run, so that's going to force Russell Wilson to throw the ball. Now, this is a deep sleeper pick. I think there's a couple of other options at 2% ownership that you may want to go to before you go to Jacob Hollister, like Jordan Reed from the San Francisco 49ers. He's only going to be about 2% owned. And then you got Darren Waller, who's only going to be about 2% owned, but you got to pay up for Darren Waller this week. And the last guy I'm going to mention real quick is Janu Smith from the Tennessee Titans. He's back from injury. He's only going to be about 3% owned, and he's 3,900 DraftKings salary and 1,500 more on FanDuel, and he's got a great matchup. But if you are looking for that deep sleeper pick that's going to make your lineup different, I like Jacob Hollister here versus the New York Jets.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.